Am I the asshole for refusing to give my husband my new Wi-Fi password? My husband and I are going through some financial struggles right now. The reason for this is because my husband lost his job. He didn't earn much anyway, working retail, being overworked and underpaid. He said the reason he lost his job was because of his narcissist boss. Money is tight and the load fell on me completely to provide for us and pay for everything, including Wi-Fi. He promised to look for a job though. My husband started spending most of his time on his phone. I keep asking, is he looking for a job? And he'd say, yes, but it's been 3 months now. And I grew suspicious because retail jobs aren't easy to find. What? I think they messed that up. I think they mean that they are easy to find. On the other hand, I found myself paying so much towards Wi-Fi service because of his endless activities on the internet. I didn't say anything till I ran into his former boss at the supermarket. We talked about my husband and I brought up how he fired him, but he looked at me confused and told me he didn't fire him. My husband quit with his own will after giving him a long rant about how he was sick and tired of working retail and that he will never work in the field again. Oh no. This is exactly why you don't lie, because it's gonna come back and bite you one way or another. Even if you don't think it's going to, some coincidence could happen where that person that you're lying to comes into contact with your former boss and they get the truth. I was shocked and also fuming. I went home and confronted him. He admitted that it was true and asked me to understand because he was fed up with having to do work as a server for rude, obnoxious people who don't respect him the way they should. I don't think they should respect you because you lied to your wife about being fired because you don't want to work in that field, but you also won't pull up your fucking pants and actually go get the job that would give you the respect that you're looking for. You just want the respect without the work. I asked what he was going to do then, and he said he has been thinking of going back to school to earn a respectable degree and work a decent job, as if retail's not decent. I asked where he would get the money to go back to school, and he shrugged and said I could start a fund for him with my salary because, like he said, he will no longer work retail. I lost it at him and told him I won't save money for anything when I can barely manage. Oh, and by the way, I told him I was losing so much money on Wi-Fi service, and so I changed the password, prohibiting him from using the internet again until he starts helping to pay for it. He got mad and shouted about how I was robbing him of his rights to use the internet, but I stated that the internet is a privilege, not a right. He called me selfish and unsupportive. I left for work later and he kept calling me, telling me to give up the password, but I kept refusing. Holy shit. No way this person is the asshole. If anything, they're not being enough of an asshole, and they should start seriously considering divorcing this person because their husband is sabotaging their entire life and also lying. This is so insane. What do some of the comments have to say? Not the asshole, but what a shitty marriage. Are you sure you want to be married to an entitled, lying man you have resorted to treating like a toddler? Yeah, exactly. 100%. Marriage red flags. Yep, totally. Not the asshole, but you have bigger problems than a password. If you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and all that good stuff. It really helps me out, and I would really appreciate it. Thanks. Am I the asshole for telling my wife I won't help her recover from cosmetic surgery because I don't agree with her reasons for getting it? Right off the bat, yeah, you kinda seem like an asshole, but let's see. My wife was born into a family struggling to make ends meet. By the time she was in late elementary, they were solid middle class. And by high school, my father-in-law was making 7 figures easy and his business had only continued to expand. This has resulted in a lot of insecurities for my wife, and she was constantly comparing herself to the girls at her new school, who had grown up so differently. Father-in-law ended up leaving her mom about 7 years ago for his current wife. My wife has always been jealous of this specific woman due to her having a lot of qualities my wife wishes she could have. I've done my best to support her. Well, recently my sister-in-law got cosmetic surgery and my wife is shocked at how natural it looks. Sister-in-law made a comment about now that she has it, she doesn't feel so uncomfortable being around their stepmother. That's something great to say to someone who is insecure about their looks around the stepmother. Yeah, that's not gonna encourage a certain behavior. My wife came to me about a week after that conversation and said she would like to get cosmetic surgery. I was against the idea and expressed that she was beautiful. She said in reality, she knows she is average, and since she has the money, why not? I asked if it had anything to do with her stepmom, and she got mad at me, but said her sister was right and it's just awkward being around her. I told her I don't approve of cosmetic surgery in general, and if she wants to do it, I can't stop her, but I'm not going to take care of her after. We have 2 young kids who will need me, and I feel like I would be compromising my principles and going along with something I find unhealthy. She called me an asshole and said it is my job as her husband. It's kind of tough because on one hand, he should support his wife in doing something that she believes will make her happy. On the other hand, I don't necessarily think this is something that's going to make her happy. I think it's a quick and easy solution to her insecurities that she should probably tackle in a healthier way. But let's see what some of the comments think. Not the asshole. It sounds like your wife needs therapy, not plastic surgery. I'm not entirely against plastic surgery, but far too often people use it as a shortcut to avoid addressing what are really psychological issues. Which is insane because even the simplest and most common surgeries pose major health risks. You don't let people cut your body open unnecessarily. That's just logic. The fact that your wife reacted the way she did when you asked her about her stepmother, and that you know that she's had issues around her self-esteem that center more on external social concerns than anything actually notably wrong with her, speaks to the fact that she likely needs a good therapist, not to have her body cut into. You are absolutely not the asshole for telling her that you cannot support her taking medical risks in any way, as your partner and the mother of your children, when you don't think she's doing it for healthy reasons. Oh wow, it actually seems like there's some debate on this. I'm trying to imagine a scenario where you're watching your significant other in pain and in need of assistance with something post-surgery. You're fully able to assist and you tell them they're on their own. That doesn't make you a pretty awful significant other, and I can't think of one. You're the asshole, not because you disagree with her reasons for the surgery, but because you're willing to literally let her physically suffer to punish her for doing something you disagree with. Yeah, that's a really good point. It seems people are pretty split by this. What do you think? Let me know, leave a comment. And now something a little more tame. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my sandwich with my husband? Me and my husband have been married for 6 months. He works from home while I'm currently staying at home for health issues. Every day I make myself a sandwich between meals. I ask my husband if he'd like to have a sandwich too, but he'd say no and that he wasn't hungry. However, once I sit down to eat, he'd sit next to me and watch me eat and then ask me to split my sandwich with him. I refuse initially, but then he would look at me with his puppy eyes and I almost instantly give in and share my sandwich with him. The thing is, I'm diabetic and have my own sandwiches and snacks to eat, and also because of sharing with him, I now deal with more low blood sugar moments. I still made sure to ask him over and over if he wanted the sandwich, and he'd still say no. Yesterday, he did it again. Saw me sitting, eating, and approached me, then sat next to me and asked me to share. I declined and told him I already asked if he wanted a sandwich, and he said no. He complained about how he wasn't hungry then and admitted that seeing me eat kind of brought him back his appetite. He kept asking me to share, but I pointed out how I need those sandwiches to balance my diet. He said a small piece won't hurt, but I still refused. He snapped and said that he works a lot while I do nothing, even though he knows I'm in recovery. I refused, and he yelled at me about being selfish and petty over a sandwich. I told him to go make his own, which pissed him off a great deal. He went out and avoided me for the rest of the day and ate dinner out. Am I the asshole? I mean, I could have just shared with him. I really don't think this person was an asshole. I think it's just one of those petty little squabbles that couples have sometimes, and I'm really hoping the husband sees that it wasn't right to get mad. But if you're looking for a solution to this situation, though, she should just start making 2 sandwiches. I mean, preferably, he would just know that he's going to be hungry. That would also fix things. But if this happens so often, she should just make another sandwich as well. As for who the asshole is, it's definitely him. I think he way overreacted, and to avoid her for the rest of the day and eat dinner out, maybe he needed that to think things through, but she's definitely not the asshole in this case. Absolutely not the asshole. He is 100% capable of making a sandwich himself. You were generous enough to ask him a few times if he would like one. He said no. His loss. Hell yeah, brother. I have a feeling OP should test theories. Make an extra sandwich and hide it, then give him hers and eat the new one when he asks for hers. If he still gets upset, it's about her eating. If he doesn't, I would start assuming he's one of those people. I don't want fries. I'll just have a few of yours. What do you think? Leave a comment and let me know.